Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday Market Webcast. Okay, so the majority of last week was spent really kind of grinding in this larger range between, on the edges, 3,000 to 3,008 was the high, to 66, but more generally call it like 75, 80 on the downside. You can see that a little better here on the hourly chart. So you can see once we got past Tuesday, you basically got into a situation where, with the exception of some attempts to break out, which didn't go, and some attempts to break down, which didn't go, we spent most of last week jammed in between 85 and 3,000 in one way, shape, or form. So as we head into today, you see off the open, they went ahead and tested that weekly pivot down there, 29.8367. They bounced it pretty nicely off of there. I'll be interested to see what it does when the regular session opens today, as we get into say 3,000. If they bring it back down to retest the weekly pivot in the light of day during the regular session, that's nothing unusual. But the bottom line is, until one side or the other breaks out of this range, we're going to end up with similar trading to what we have seen over the course of the last 4 or 5 sessions, which is a range bound trade. Either side, if it breaks to the downside, it opens up a move to the daily mid-band down at, say, 29.59. If they break it out to the upside, you're looking at 30.25 or beyond. So we're really battling over what this market wants to do, say, over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And 3,000 is a big inflection point. The bands are tight. You're dealing with 3,000. You're dealing with the 9-day on the lower end. And these are all things that, along with the news flow, which is pretty uncertain right now, and there's not a huge amount of definitive news that came out a little bit. It's popped the market. Now the market's just kind of grinding, waiting for the next piece of news. The next piece of news really hasn't come, and so you just kind of feel like you're in a little bit of a waiting room, and that's always makes for pretty choppy trading. As far as this morning is concerned, you got a lot of traffic down in 92.65, which is your hourly mid-band. Volume weighted average price comes in around 94. Our proprietary moving average comes in 95.25. You've got the 5-minute mid-band there at 96. So call it 92.5 to 96 is going to have to make a decision, especially on a quick trip down off the open. Monday mornings have been very whippy, very choppy, very pickpockety for the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's tended to normalize a little bit more as you get into later in the day, but I generally have not walked into Monday mornings with a whole lot of expectations as far as what I want out of the tape. So it was a good day Friday. It was a good week. About a 55 handle week for us. The month is in great shape with basically two full weeks to go. We're well beyond our goals for the month. We're gonna take today, and I'm gonna let it open up, and then I'm gonna use that 93 to 96 area as kind of a bull bear line. I want to be long above, and I want to be short below if it gets converted, and use that to ride it to either edge of this range, and then just kind of see what happens. I would not be blind fading the edge of this range. Range trades are range trades until they're not, and if you're blind fading the edge of ranges, either long or short, you'll end up being the bag holder on the real move. And not only will that end up being a red trade for you, then you lose out on the opportunity cost of being involved in the initial part of the breakout or the breakdown. So, if it starts making lower highs, sure, you can short against the high, knowing that if it breaks above the high, you're going to have to probably flip and do something with that, and contrast that with what would happen at the low. All right, everybody have a great day. We'll have more stuff out on social. Trade them well. All the best. Come check us out. Come learn along with all these new people that are starting. It's a fantastic time to be in the room. We look forward to meeting you. Trade them well. Talk to you tomorrow. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade 'em well.